Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you what my most used makeup products of 2021 were. I absolutely love this video idea because I feel like at the end of the day this is what it's all about right here. What products I used to death, what products I got my money's worth out of, the ones that I enjoyed using that are really reliable, and well, I cannot wait to share them with you. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. First of all, I want to say this was not my video idea. This video is actually in collaboration with Miss Britt Clark. If you guys are not following Britt Clark yet, I highly recommend that you go and subscribe to her channel. First of all, she is the queen of live videos. Her live videos were definitely a huge inspiration for me to start doing live videos, which you guys have enjoyed lately. Every video she posts, she does live and then she saves it on her channel so you can always watch it afterwards. She is hilarious. Her videos are a lot of fun and I just love her energy, and I think you guys would too. Plus, she's very opinionated, which I think is an excellent thing when it comes to makeup reviews, because we really have to be super picky about what products are and how they perform so that we can see and evaluate which ones we like better than others. Britt discovered my channel when I did my perfect makeup tag with Morgan Turner, and I discovered her channel because she did the perfect makeup tag, and this was a few months ago, and I have literally not stopped watching her videos since. So I know that you guys will really love her. I cannot wait to see what her most used products of 2021 were, and after you finish watching this video, please go over to her channel, subscribe, watch her video, and let her know that I sent you. Second thing is that Sephora is having a 20% off sale. I know, another one. Anyways, this one might be even better than the previous one because it does not matter what membership level you have. Everybody gets 20% off. Of course, I'm going to leave you the links to all of these products down below, and I believe that pretty much all of them you can find at Sephora because that's where I mainly shop. Besides that, I'm also going to be leaving you the discount code down in the description box of the video. I believe it is GIFTEASY, but all of the information you can find down there. So if there's anything you forgot to grab from Sephora, this is your opportunity. I do think that this code is a one-time use, so make sure you have your basket ready before you check out. And if you forgot anything, since this can pretty much be used by any type of insider member at Sephora, you can just create another account. But I do think it would be better for you to have your basket truly ready before you check out, because that way you get all of the points on your account. Anyways, if you're interested in grabbing anything from Sephora or anything that I'm going to talk about today, definitely check out my links below, and let's get started because I have a lot to tell you about. I basically gather products by category, and I'm going to tell you what my most used product per category was in 2021. Britt and I didn't really discuss exactly how we were going to go about it, so this is just what I came up with, and I'm going to start with kind of the order in which I do things. I'm going to talk about skincare first, makeup second, and then tools last. So my most used makeup melter of 2021 was, if you've been here before, you know, the Pharmacy Makeup Melter. I probably went through like 3 of these this year. In fact, I just pulled this one out of my empties. I have another one in my bathroom that I'm currently using, and I'm pretty sure there is more of these in my empties bag. So I absolutely love this right here. My favorite thing about it is it does not leave any residue on your face, and it takes all of the makeup off. No makeup melter leaves my skin feeling as clean as these do right here. And needless to say, I highly recommend these products from Pharmacy. I personally cannot get enough of them, and I will continue to repurchase them throughout next year as well. My most used cleanser of 2021 was also from Pharmacy, and it's this one right here, the Pharmacy Whipped Greens. This is actually my empty one that I also got out of the bag right there, and I also have a full one of these in my bathroom. Now this one, I will say, it lasts for so long. So probably all throughout 2021 I was using this product right here. I believe I might have bought this in the fall sale last year, and I didn't finish it up until right before the fall sale this year. So this probably lasted me a whole year because a little bit goes a super long way with this one. I use it as my second step after my melter every time. It creates the most foamy base ever for really deeply cleaning your skin. And I'm not going to say this is the most hydrating cleanser, but I do find it to be hydrating, and most importantly, it does not strip my dry skin of moisture, which to me is the most important thing. So highly recommend this one. I love the texture, I love the smell, and I love pharmacy skincare, you guys know this, so also very highly recommended. Okay, so next let's talk about serum, and my most used serum of 2021 was this right here. This is from Glow Recipe. This is the Avocado Ceramide Recovery Serum. This was my most used and I did really like it, but I haven't repurchased it, and I'm not saying I never will because like I said, I did really like this serum. But after this serum, I just moved on to different things. Niacinamide serums, other types of serums. So while I do really like it and I do recommend it if you have redness, I do think that this really helped with my redness. It's not a product that I can't live without. Like my cleansers from pharmacy, cannot live without them. This one, I've been able to just move on to something else, which is not to say that I'll never repurchase it, but it's just, it didn't leave that long of a lasting impact on me, I guess. But it was my most used serum of 2021, so I had to share it with you. For night cream, my most used night cream of 2021 was definitely the JLo Beauty night cream. I believe the JLo Beauty skincare line came out at the beginning of this year, and I didn't go through one of these, I went through two of these. When I finished my first one, I repurchased it and I bought a second one. I would say they probably lasted me like 4.5 months each, is my estimate. So a little bit goes a very long way with this one, and I do really love it. I'm currently using something else, but I might go back to this one after I'm finished. I'm not sure. My favorite thing about this one is the thickness of it. I just really love a thick cream for nighttime, and this one gave me the thickness I desired. Plus, it just feels very nourishing on the skin. It gives your skin this really beautiful glow, and overall I did really like it. As far as eye cream is concerned, I went through a period this year where I wasn't wearing any eye cream. I was just taking my moisturizer up to my under eye. However, my most used eye cream of the year was the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Eye Rescue. This right here is my new jar, but I do have an empty one in my empties, so I was kind of using it at the beginning of the year, then I stopped using eye cream for some reason, and then a few months ago I started using eye cream again, and I do really like using eye cream. I think it was just like out of laziness, plus I didn't want to like restock. I don't know. I don't know what got into me, but I know that I spent like 3 months without eye cream this year. But anyways, I am back on the eye cream. I do really love this one. I've been using this particular jar for like a month now, but I did also use it at the beginning of the year, and so it was my most used eye cream this year, and in general one of my favorite eye creams period, which is why I repurchased it during the previous Sephora sale at 20% off. So I do highly recommend it, and I love that I have the glass jar now and I can just buy the refills for it. So I feel like that guarantees me that I will continue to repurchase this one. My most used moisturizer of the year was without a doubt Magic Cream. This one here is like a halfway empty one that I have, but I've probably gone through like 2 or 3 more of these throughout the year. This was something that I did not change at any point in the year. I was using it every day at the beginning of the year, and I have been using it every day throughout all of 2021. I know that this is a pricey moisturizer, but there is something very special about the texture of this formula for me. I feel like my makeup never lays as beautifully on top of any other moisturizer as it does on this one, and so this is my moisturizer of preference for underneath my makeup and for every day in general. Besides that, it is anti-aging, it's got peptides, it's got vitamins, all of the nice plumping hydrating ingredients, shea butter, etc. Highly recommended, and I don't see myself not using this one anytime soon. Plus, if you watch my Sephora Sale content, you know that I got the glass one with a refill already waiting for me in a drawer for when I finish this jar. Almost done with skincare. The only thing I have left to show you is my most used SPF of the year, and that is this one right here. This is the Lancome UV Expert Aqua Gel Defense SPF 50 sunscreen. I absolutely love this SPF because it sinks right into the skin. It doesn't create a white cast and it's extremely thin. I don't like thick SPFs that are hard to blend into your skin or that you are forced to put makeup on top of. This one you can use on its own. It just gives my skin a nice sheen. It's not oily. I absolutely love it. I highly recommend it, and I fully used this one this year, so it definitely was my most used one. Now, when I start doing my makeup, the first thing I always do is my eyebrows. So let's talk about my most used eyebrow products of the year. And my most used eyebrow gel was, without a doubt, the Anastasia Brow Freeze. This was something that came into my life sometime in the fall last year, and I have since used a full jar of it, and this one is probably halfway done. So 1.5 of this one, and since I tried it last year, I have not looked back. I've definitely tried other eyebrow gels throughout the year that I have even used for extended periods of time, like for example the Refi brow gel right here. I don't think I ever talked about this one, but I did link it underneath a lot of videos because I was using it for like 2 months. But nothing comes close or compares to my Anastasia brow gel. And just like I've said for a lot of the products I just mentioned, I don't see myself not using this one anytime soon. As far as eyebrow pencils are concerned, this right here was definitely my most used one of the year. This is the Brow Cheat from Charlotte Tilbury, and I've basically been using it since it came out, which I think it was either spring this year or right before spring at the beginning of the year. One of my favorite things about this one is that it is refillable, so you can just buy the refill for $15 rather than having to spend $25 on it every time. I've gone through 2 refills of this one. In fact, I need to restock on it. This one is empty, so I'm going to take advantage of this 20% off Sephora sale to buy a couple of refills for mine. This is my current favorite eyebrow pencil because it performs amazingly on top of my eyebrow gel from Anastasia. It's super pigmented. You can give your brows definition, very natural looking. Plus, it's refillable and you can get the refills for an affordable price. Nothing to complain about with this one. My most used of 2021, and I do plan on continuing to use it. Last but not least, something that you will not find at Sephora, which is rare, okay? I feel like a lot of my favorite products are at Sephora and this one isn't. And the product is the NYX Cosmetics Eyebrow Pen. When I tell you, this is a love story right here between us two. I like this eyebrow pen more than any high-end eyebrow pen I've ever tried. For a while there, I was like, oh, I like it the same as my Anastasia eyebrow pen. That is a lie. It's a lie. I like this one much better. The Anastasia eyebrow pen can be too pigmented, if that is ever a thing. It can be too pigmented sometimes where it creates thicker, too dark of hair strokes, and this one here has the thinnest, teeniest, tiniest little tip. It's very hard for you to do too much of it, yet it gives you really nice and defined hair-like strokes that just create the most natural looking eyebrows when you swipe it in between your eyebrow hairs. I have mine in the color black, which is like the darkest brown, and I love it. I love it more than any other eyebrow pen I have ever used. Highly recommended. Definitely my most used this year. I think I tried it around the springtime and I have not stopped using it since. I sometimes wonder if it's ever going to run out because I feel like for how much I use it, I should have had to restock by now. But knock on wood, I don't want to spend money. It's going strong, as you can see. It lasts forever, and if I can recommend a brow pen to you, it's definitely this NYX Cosmetics one because it is just wonderful. So love it. Plus, it's NYX Cosmetics. It's really affordable too. Okay, I did my brows and I moisturized. My next step, definitely foundation primer. And my most used foundation primer of 2021, definitely this one right here. This is the Tatcha the Liquid Silk Canvas. Currently my favorite, and this is something else that I'm like, when is it going to run out? Because I have used this so freaking much and it's still giving me product. I think I'm probably going to have to restock on this one sometime soon. but I cannot recommend this enough. I love it because I have dry skin and the regular Silk Canvas was a little bit too thick and drying on me, but this one is just perfection. I wear it almost every day underneath any of my foundations. It works fantastic underneath all of them. It makes my pores smaller, it makes my skin look super smooth, it doesn't dry me out, it doesn't make me oily. It's just a fantastic product, which it should be because it is also a pretty penny, but I have to say it's lasted me for a very long time, so that is a good thing, because it would be a big shame if I bought this and I liked it as much as I do and it would run out fast. This has lasted me for a very long time. It's still going strong, and definitely my most used primer this year. I do highly recommend it. I wasn't sure what category to put this next one under, but I have used the heck out of it this year and I did want to mention it as well, and that is this right here. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Illuminator. As you can see, mine no longer has any letters on it. That's how much I've used it. I have mine in number 3, and I use this one as a primer, which is why I'm mentioning it in this step, but I also use it as an illuminator on top of my foundation. I find this product to be really fantastic for me. It helps to hide my redness a little bit. It gives my dry skin a really nice glow from within. If I want a very natural highlighter, this is definitely what I reach for, because it just looks like your skin is glowing rather than you putting a glowy shimmer on it, if that makes sense. Very well used this year as well, and I wanted to mention it. As far as foundations are concerned, I have 2 foundations I want to mention to you, and I truly don't know which one I used more than the other. They are both pretty much empty at this point. I did just restock on one of them, and let me just stop blabbing and show you. These right here. So my Pat McGrath foundation, it's on its last drop. I did order another one at the Pat McGrath sale that is still going on the day that I'm filming this video. Anyways, I have mine in the color light medium 9, and this is one of my favorite foundations of all time, which is why I reach for this one a lot over some of the other foundations in my collection. Plus, I think it is the perfect foundation color on me, very flattering. I love the glow that it gives my dry skin. It lasts for a very long time on me. I will say, if you have oily skin, you probably won't love it as much as I do. And I've heard that on people with oily skin it doesn't last as long. I'm dry as a desert. I don't have that problem on me. It lasts for a very long time. It is glowy. I love the coverage. It is super watery, so it looks just like skin. Very flattering on my face, and you can see down here mine. It's pretty empty. I was looking for it in my empties drawer, but I actually found it in my foundation drawer, so I guess I was still expecting to have some product in here before my restock comes. My favorite luxury foundation, without a doubt. The next foundation that I used the heck out of this year was this one here, and I truly couldn't tell you which one I used most. This one I feel like I reached for more for daily occasions because it's a much more affordable foundation. As far as the texture and the wearability and all of that goes, I feel like they're pretty similar. This one does tend to be a little bit natural to matte, where my Pat McGrath one is more on the glowy side. This one is a little bit more matte, so if you have combination or oily skin, this one might be a better option for you. Plus, it is more affordable. I know the packaging looks like it sucks, but I promise you this is one of the best foundations I've ever had. What matters is definitely what is on the inside for this one, and there's like an 1/8 of an ounce of product left in there, and when I run out I will probably get another one because I just love it that much. By the way, with foundations I could kind of easily figure it out, but products like lipstick and eyeshadow palettes, it was really hard to pick my most used one. For palettes specifically, I was like, what was my most used palette of the year? I don't know, because I move on from one to the next and I don't necessarily always have time to look back because another palette is coming out that I need to review and do looks with, but I did figure it out. I have some palettes here that I've definitely used most this year, which doesn't necessarily mean that they are very used, because like I said, I've bought a lot of palettes this year. You know, it's just the nature of this channel. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on to the next product. I don't always use cream contour, but when I do, majority of the time, I reach for this one here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. I have mine in the color light medium. I will say this is my favorite in its category. I feel like it looks so nice and natural. It has a little bit of a glowy finish to it. It blends out extremely easily, and the only reason this is not empty is because it was sold out for most of the year, so I saved it so that I could use it for special occasions because I didn't want to run out of it and then need it one day. Otherwise, this would be fully empty, which I can promise you there is barely any product in here anyways. This was my most used liquid contour of this year, and I absolutely love it. Plus, it is back in stock now, I believe, everywhere. So if you were waiting to get your hands on it, definitely do it. Let's talk about setting powder, and I know that this one is going to come to no surprise to anybody. Need I say more? This one is about to go in my empties bag right now. I already have a refill for it, and I'm pretty sure there is another empty one in that bag back there. So, point is, there's literally no competition for this one. This is my most used of 2021, and no other powder in my collection comes even remotely close to how much I use this one. This is a tried and true product for me. I always use it for my under eyes, which is its main intent, but I also use it for like my forehead, nose, kind of like the T-zone area as well, which is why I run through it so fast probably. But anyways, point is, I highly recommend it. This is perfect if you have dry skin or if you have crepey skin underneath your eyes and you don't want your lines to be enhanced. This right here is what you need to set your concealer with, and you will never look back, just like I haven't looked back. Highly recommended. I love how we just talked about under eye powder, but we haven't even concealed the under eyes yet. Let me show you some of my favorite products for the under eye. My most used color corrector this year for my under eyes is this right here. As you can see, I just hit pan on it. You can barely see it right there. I think I've been using this one now for like 6, 7, maybe 8 months. You need extremely little of it, so this will last you for a long time, even though it looks pretty small. This is from Charlotte Tilbury. It is the Magic Color Corrector, I believe, and I have mine in the color 2 medium. This is a very thin product, and a little bit goes a very long way with it. You don't need to use much at all. If you have purpley or brown hues underneath your eyes, this right here is what you need to neutralize that underneath your concealer. If you're someone who puts concealer on and then sets it with powder but you can still see gray underneath your eyes, this is the solution that you need right here. Just put a little bit of this where your under eyes are the darkest and then do the concealer and powder the same way you would, and I can promise you, you will not see any more of those gray hues showing through. I do plan on repurchasing this one whenever I run out of it, so I do see myself using this for a very long time, and I highly recommend it. Okay, so concealers is one of those categories where I can't tell you which one I use more than the other. I kind of have these 3 top concealers that I always reach for, and I don't know if I ever used one more than the other because it honestly just depends on the day for me. And those are these 3 right here. The Pure Push-Up Concealer, I've already ran through like 2 of these, and this one doesn't have much product left. I think I've been using this concealer for like 1.5 years now, so I've gone through 3 of them throughout that period of time. Definitely one of my most used of 2021. Very creamy, very hydrating. I use this one a lot to conceal right underneath my brow, so it's not just for my under eyes that I use it. It does work perfectly underneath my eyes as well, but I prefer these 2 because these are a little bit thinner. However, for like underneath my eyebrows, the Push-Up Concealer from Pure is chef's kiss. Super creamy, and if I'm being lazy and I don't want to reach for these, I also put this underneath my eyes and it works great. So I highly recommend this one, and you can find it at Ulta, but like with everything else, the link will be down below. Now for my under eyes, my top 2 concealers are these right here, and like I said, I don't know which one I use more than the other. This one right here is my Pat McGrath concealer. I have mine in the color L6. I need to restock on this one. There is nothing left in this tube, and I actually just restocked on it when I ordered the foundation as well, and I had to get L5 because L6 was sold out, and I have a feeling that I'm not going to like it as much as I like this color, but it is what it is. I needed a new Pat McGrath concealer. This one just has the perfect neutral undertone and I really do absolutely love it. Anyways, this concealer is full coverage, a little bit goes a long way, and pretty much everybody I know loves this one, so this is like no question, you will love this concealer. And if you haven't tried it yet, definitely give it a try. And then the next concealer that not only did I use the heck out of on 2021, but I've been using the heck out of this one for the past probably 3 years, maybe 2, is this right here. This is from YSL and this is the YSL Full Cover Concealer. Specifically, I use mine in number 2. This is the most lightweight concealer you are going to ever put underneath your eyes. It does have a medium buildable coverage, so I do prefer to use it on top of the color corrector so that it fully covers my under eyes. But my favorite thing about this concealer is that it's so thin that it doesn't enhance any lines underneath my eyes. It sets to perfection. It doesn't crease. I do like to set it with a little bit of powder, but this very thin concealer with a little bit of a very thin powder on top makes for the most flawless under eye combination ever. And I never hear anyone talking about this, and when I tell you, I absolutely love it. If I had to choose a favorite one between these two, this would be it right here. But the issue is that this needs to be combined with something else and this can be used on its own. I guess to simplify it, if you have a lot of lines underneath your eyes or very dry skin underneath your eyes, I recommend that you get this combination right here, the Charlotte Corrector with the YSL concealer. And if you have normal to combination or oily skin, then the Pat McGrath concealer will probably be the best one for you. But all of them I have used the heck out of in 2021, so all of them made it to this video. Okay, we concealed, we powdered, we contoured. Let's do some bronzer next. And my most used bronzer of 2021, and this is kind of an unfortunate one because I feel like all of my favorite bronzers of 2021 came out in the last 4 months of the year. And so even though they were my favorite, they weren't my most used ones because I didn't have them for most of the year, if that makes sense. So my most used one, which I do still really like, is this one right here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. I have mine in the color 2 medium, and as you can see, this one was very well loved this year. Now, it's not my favorite bronzer of 2021 because this year I also tried the Gucci bronzer, the Huda Beauty bronzer, and I think my most favorite bronzer this year is actually also from Charlotte Tilbury, but this quad right here, because these two bronzers are just incredible. However, all of those came out towards the end of the year, so my most used one was definitely this one here, which I do still really like and I will continue to use. In fact, I am wearing it today. I'm wearing most of the products I'm talking about today on my face, but the favorite throne got taken away from this one when these other ones came out. Blush is something that I kind of got into a lot more in 2021, and I feel like I tried so many new blushes that I couldn't really find one that stood out as me using it the most except for this one. And this is the Pillow Talk blush from Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like first of all I've used this one the most because I've had it for the longest amount of time this year. But even when I bought a ton of new blushes and I really liked a lot of them, this blush is something that I consistently reach for in my collection. Definitely one of my favorite ones, and so therefore I think this was probably my most used blush of the year. I really like this one. I love how nice and peachy it is, not too pink, not too bright, not too dark, nice and glowy. Just perfection, and I do highly recommend it. For highlighter, without a doubt, my most used highlighter this year was this right here from Natasha Denona, and as you can see, it doesn't really look it because you use so little highlighter, and this one's kind of like not the softest, so it takes a while for it to rub off. Anyways, this is the highlighter that I'm wearing today, and my favorite thing about it is how natural it looks. This is the perfect highlighter for me. It has the perfect undertone. It looks nice and natural. It builds up really nicely. It's not too like in your face. It looks beautiful in natural lighting. And I don't know, it's just the one that I've reached for the most for sure. Unfortunately, I don't think this is at Sephora anymore. I think it's only at the Natasha Denona website right now. I think it probably is being discontinued or something. I do think that this was meant to be limited edition, but I wish it wasn't because I think it is a perfect staple highlighter from Natasha Denona. I don't know if we should do lips or if we should do eyes next. I guess let's do eyes, because if I were to be doing my makeup, eyes would be the next step. My most used eyeshadow primer of 2021, without question, was definitely this right here. This is from Rare Beauty. Mine is down to here, is what I can see through the light. And I definitely don't use much of this whenever I use it. So it being down there is quite the accomplishment. This is my current favorite eyeshadow primer of all time. I love it. I feel like it gives me just enough coverage underneath my eyeshadow. It grabs onto my eyeshadow really well without being too sticky, which could make the eyeshadow not blend as nicely as you want it to blend. To me, this one has the perfect consistency, the perfect formula, the perfect amount of coverage. I cannot say enough good things about this one. I've had it since the spring sale this year and I haven't stopped using it since. So definitely my most used eyeshadow primer of the year. I think eyeshadow was definitely my toughest category because I went through like all of the eyeshadow videos I uploaded throughout the year, which was a lot, and I was thinking, which palettes do I consistently go back to and do I consistently reach for, even though it's not new anymore and it's not the one that I'm making the 5 looks 1 palette video with anymore, etc. And I came up with these 3. Except for one of them, I don't think that these are necessarily my most favorite eyeshadow palettes of the year, but they were definitely my most used eyeshadow palettes of the year, which is what this video is about. The first one I want to talk about is this one right here. This is my Pillow Talk palette from Charlotte, and for the first 4 to 5 months of the year I was still working full-time at a Charlotte Tilbury counter, which made me reach for this palette quite a lot because I was selling it at work. So I needed to show people what the products were about, and this is definitely a very easy palette to reach for every day. So on days where I did my eye makeup to go to work, this was what I was reaching for right here, and so therefore this has to be one of my most used palettes of 2021. Plus I really love the pinky natural color story. So palette number 2 that I reached for the most this year has to be this one right here. This is the Patrick Ta palette that came out sometime in the first half of the year, and I love this type of look that I'm wearing right now. This one I actually got with a different palette, but you can get the same look with this one. And so whenever I want this type of look, which for me, because I'm super basic, is quite often, this is the palette that I was reaching for right here. I really like the formula, I really like the color story, I really like the shimmers, and I love, 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 love these cream shades right here. They are absolute perfection. So I have gotten quite a bit of use out of this palette. I do highly recommend it, and it kind of took the place of like my favorite neutral palette per se. Like whenever I want something simple that I don't have to think about, that I know it's going to match everything, this is what I reach for right here. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite palettes of 2021, which has also been very, very used for me this year because this palette just brings me joy. And I know a lot of you probably saw this one coming. This right here, I know, the palette that made me cry. This is the Pat McGrath Venus in Fleur quad right here. I am a burgundy lover. I love this palette. I'm obsessed with the duochrome shimmer right there. You can see the shift in the mirror. It looks gold here, pink here. Absolutely love it. This matte burgundy shade right here is to die for. And this was a palette that even though I got close to summertime, I reach for every chance I get. Even my grandma wore this palette once when I went down to visit. I love it, okay? Love it, highly recommended, and I love hearing that you guys love it too. I know that a lot of you got it based on my recommendation and you all love your quad as well. So yeah, this was definitely one of my most used this year, and I will continue to reach for it every chance I get. Let's talk about some eyeliners, and my most used eyeliner of the year has to be this one right here. I actually discovered today that it's almost out. This is from Patrick Ta. It came out along with the Patrick Ta palette that I just showed you. Mine is pretty much done. It's just a really nice basic brown eyeliner. I currently have it in my waterline right now. Whenever I do my basic, this type of eye looks, I always love to reach for a rich or dark brown eyeliner, and this is exactly what this one is, and so I have used the heck out of it this year. Definitely my most used eyeliner, but I do have a couple others to show you that I've also used a lot. Whenever I do any kind of pink or purple eyeshadow look, sometimes even burgundy, I love to do a bright pink eyeliner in my waterline. And this one here is the Cute Ting one by Fenty. I reach for this one all of the time too. So very, very well used by me. And if I ever do anything that has like a cool tone purple or a blue in it, I have been reaching for this Chanel one quite a lot. This one is number 30 Marine. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, but you really can't see it on the eye. It's just like a perfect navy blue eyeliner with a little bit of a glow in it, and I love it as well. And it's been very, very used by me during 2021. And last but not least, let's finish up the eyes with mascara. And my most used mascara this year also happens to be my favorite mascara of all time at the moment being, and that is this right here. This is the Pat McGrath mascara. I'm obsessed with this one. It just gives me a ton of length and volume while still looking natural. I think what I love about it the most is that it gives me the best fluffy lashes ever. They're long, they're thick, and most importantly for me, they are separated. It doesn't clump them together. It's just fantastic. This right here is actually a new tube. I did use a full one of these this year that is in my empties bag. This video is long, I apologize, but I did want to do it by category. So let's talk lips, and I'm going to start with my most used lip liners of the year, and I do have 3 because who the heck knows which one I use more than the other. What you can be sure about is that they probably look exactly the same, okay? I actually think my most used one probably is one of these two. I was in love, I am still in love with the Natasha Denona Highlighter lip liner. This one right here. It's just so good. Also really in love with Structure from Pat McGrath. A little bit darker, a little bit redder, but it's so good. I would say based on length, I've used the Pat McGrath more, but I also think I've had the Pat McGrath for longer. So I think these two are my most used this year. I had also pulled this one out because I wasn't sure, but now that I saw the sizes, this is probably in 3rd place. But it's this one right here, and it's Julia, also from Natasha Denona. As you can see, they are very, very similar to one another. They just have the slightest differences in between them, and I absolutely love all 3 of them. Lipstick was something else that was very hard for me to determine which one I've used most. So I kind of picked 3 categories and whatever I thought I used most in the categories. For balmy lipstick, I know that I have used this Pat McGrath Nude Venus lipstick a lot. I'm not sure how long this was to begin with, but this is all that remains of mine. And I just really, really like the color of this one. Nice and sheer, but buildable. It just looks so natural on the skin, and I really love how it just gives me the best shine. It's like a lipstick and a gloss combined, and I really love it. For a lip oil, and you know I love my lip oils, I think this right here was the most used one for me this year. This is the Dior Lip Oil in 004, and I know it doesn't look like it's been used much, but keep in mind that I buy a lot of these and I always alternate in between them, so it's hard for me to get through one of these because I'm always reaching for a different one. But I do think that this was the one that I reached for the most this year. I really, really love the hint of a peachy undertone that this one has. It's very nice once you put it on the lips, and I'm obsessed with the doll foot applicator because it's super nice and thick. And my most used lipstick of the year I think has to be this one right here. This is my Huda Beauty lipstick in the color Hustle. Lipstick is something else that I always reach for a different one, so it's hard for me to like find the one I use the most. But this one and I had a moment that hasn't quite ended yet. I'm not going to pull it up all the way because mine is super broken. I basically put it on right after I got it out of the car once, and it was melted, so I broke it. Anyways, let me show you the swatch of it right here. It's just such a perfect, shiny, creamy lipstick. Absolutely love this one. And that formula from Huda Beauty lipsticks in general, I really love. What I'm wearing right now is one of these. I'm wearing it in the color Habibi and I absolutely love it. So pretty, so comfortable. It feels like I'm wearing a lip balm, but it's actually this really nice, juicy, opaque lipstick. I love it. Done with lipsticks, and let's set our face with some setting spray. My most used setting spray this year, definitely the Airbrush setting spray by Charlotte Tilbury. This one here is my restock. This is my new one. I did fully use one of the 1 ounce ones throughout the year, and I absolutely love this one. I love the sprayer. I love the smell. My favorite thing about it is that it's alcohol free, so it does not dry out my skin. It does not change the texture of my makeup. If I'm matte, I'm gonna stay matte. If I'm glowy, I'm going to stay glowy. And it makes your makeup last forever. If you haven't gotten your hands on this one yet, this right here is an absolute must-have and everybody needs it. So definitely get your hands on one. Before I get to my tools category, which is just a few things I want to talk about, let's talk about my most used fragrance of 2021, and that is this right here. You can see by how empty my bottle is. This is the YSL Libre fragrance. I do have a restock right there. So I am continuing to use this one. I absolutely love it. I just find it perfect for every occasion. It's nice and sweet and girly and sexy and just delicious. So obviously I highly recommend it. It is just so freaking good. Okay, let's talk about tools and my most used brushes of the year. Definitely Refer brushes in general. I have a lot of videos, if you guys are interested, where I talk about what specifically my favorite Refer brushes are. These are Japanese handmade brushes. They have exceptional quality, and you usually get these types of brushes for like a huge price tag, and Refer actually makes these brushes pretty affordable, plus they have the best customer service I've ever seen. So I love supporting them and recommending them to you guys because they are just the best. Plus literally I used these brushes every single time I did my makeup all throughout 2021. So definitely my most used brushes of the year. To clean my natural hair brushes from Refer, and I do get this question quite often, I don't always wash them with soap under the faucet and let them dry overnight, and that whole process, that is a lot of work, okay? So we don't want to do that super often. What I use is this right here. During this Sephora 20% sale that they're having, Sephora collection is actually 30% off, and I believe this big bottle is only $15. So you'll get this for around $11 at the sale. This right here is my Refresh Daily Clean for my brushes. This is very special because it's not drying. So for natural hair brushes, you don't want to use anything that is going to strip the natural hairs of moisture, just like with shampoo and conditioner for your hair. So this actually is conditioning for your brushes, so it leaves them very clean and conditioned so it doesn't dry them out. You just spray your brush with this, clean it on a paper towel, and it comes out clean and you're good to go. I could not recommend this enough. I know a lot of you got it during the previous Sephora sale based on my recommendation and you all are loving it. So if you have natural hair brushes, and I know that a lot of you have bought the Refer brushes, clean your Refer brushes with this right here and they are going to last you forever. And last but not least, my most used makeup sponge of 2021. If you would have asked me this question last year, I would have told you the Beauty Blender. Nothing is ever going to replace my Beauty Blender, but something actually did. Something actually did replace my Beauty Blender, and that is this right here. These are, I have another one somewhere. Let me show you the clean one. These are the Sonia Kashuk sponges. These are sold at Target. I will have it linked down below. I got the pack of 2, as you can see. I got this probably at the beginning of the year, if not maybe even last year, and I have not put it down since. I don't even remember my Beauty Blender sponge anymore, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, and I'll tell you why. The Beauty Blender is great, don't get me wrong. I used it for a very long time and I still love it, but these right here are bigger and just as soft, so I feel like they get the job done a little bit faster. They're very soft, so you can really pinch them for small spaces without any trouble at all whatsoever. Now, my absolute most favorite thing about these sponges is actually not makeup related. These are so easy to clean. I feel like with the Beauty Blender, I had to squeeze and squeeze and rub for a very long time to really get all of the makeup out of it. And with these Sonia Kashuk sponges, the makeup comes out of it a lot faster than the Beauty Blenders. And so really that is what made the most difference for me. Plus, I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've used this and they still look new. Again, just very, very easy to clean and I highly recommend it. Those are my most used sponges of 2021. And the last product I wanted to talk about in today's video. Hopefully I covered everything. I'm pretty sure that I did. Let me know if you guys liked this video and let me know what your most used product of 2021 was down in the comment section. Please don't forget to run to Brit's channel and check out her video. You guys are absolutely going to love her channel. I can promise you that. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you came over here from Brit's channel, please don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so, so much. Thank you for being here and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!